We're doing the John Wall dance here in the studio. If you saw that last night, I was just talking about it. He comes out, from Kentucky, John Wall. And then he's doing the dance. Oh, my God. Really? Okay. And then he had 29 points, 13 assists, 9 steals. Yeah, pretty good. Overtime win for the Wiz. So you're going to have to watch the John Wall dance all year. And if you're a Wizards fan or, you got Comcast for some reason, yeah, you're going to have to get used to it. But let's switch gears right here on the morning show. Good morning, by the way. 7:38 here on a Wednesday morning. Action-packed Wednesday, as I call it. He's a UVA Fantasy Guy. He was just telling me, I said, hey, did you go to the UVA game? He goes, not only did I go to the UVA game, but I am going to Duke in Durham, and we're spending... Okay, you tell the story. What's the plan?
Well, Mark, here's the plan. So we're going to go down to Durham either Friday night or Saturday morning, and we got tickets on the 50-yard line, a couple rows up from the field. How much do you think we paid for them?
I don't know, $75?
Well, Mark, to break it to you, we actually paid $8 a pop for them. Pretty awesome.
Wait. And StubHub charges you $15 extra. Right?
There's a fee on there somewhere, but
so the fee costs more than the actual.
I think
ticket.
It comes out, from what I heard, it comes out to $8.50 a person. I think the story behind it, Alabama fans. Duke made Alabama fans pay, they had to buy all the season ticket allotment in order to just attend the Alabama game.
But you don't have to.
No, I think these are Alabama fans saying, hey, we'll take 99 cents. We'll take $8 for the 50-yard line seats.
Look, if you have tickets season tickets to Duke football, and you're only getting $8 if you try to scalp them, why don't you just go to the game?
I guess that's Duke for you. They're waiting for basketball season.
I could tell. Yeah, maybe it's to go to basketball games. They're trying to save their money by selling the football tickets. So you're going to the game.
Yeah.
Have you ever been there before?
Never been to Durham.
Oh, man.
I'm excited. I want to go see Cameron Indoor. I mean, just look at it.
Just to walk by?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
You'll have to do that.
And do a little road trip. Maybe get some barbecue down there.
What's funny with UVA, you're so spoiled where you're like, well, I'm going to go visit Charlottesville. And you're like, well, I'll go see Thomas Jefferson's house. I'll go see, Ashland Highland. I'll go see Montpelier. And then you realize you're like, oh, you're going to go to Duke. Well, what historical things do they have there? Do they have presidents? No, not really.
I don't know.
Sports Radio 1400 WKAV. We're here with the UVA Fantasy Guy. He is going the road trip. You're going to probably take, the shag wagon, you, the girlfriend, all your buddies, and you're going to dominate that area. Is that what's going to happen?
Just going to make it rain. It's going to be awesome.
Okay. My first question to you is before we get into fantasy football. You were at the UVA game, and you and Mike London were high-fiving after the game, right, crying?
Yeah, I just ran by, and I looked to my right, and I see the cameras, interviewing Mike London, and there's no one standing behind him. So I'm like, I got to give him some respect.
You're that guy.
So I run over there. I'm trying not to be too loud because I don't want to interrupt the interview, but I'm just throwing up the number one because, they're number one in my heart, Mark. I'm just throwing it up. I'm like, go team.
They're 4-4 on the scoreboard, number one in your heart.
That's
the
right.
UVA football team.
It's a beautiful thing.
So were you surprised that they won the game? Were you in shock?
I was pretty shocked. I guess from what I've learned about this team so far this year, if they compete on the first few possessions, it's going to be a good game. But if they get walked all over, like the North Carolina game, first play of the game, from scrimmage, 79-yard touchdown pass. Florida State, I think they broke off an 80-yarder run where we missed the tackle on the backfield. When we stopped them on that, it was a 4th and 3, and they tried to run a quick slant. And Devin Wallace, I think he got him in bump and run.
Yep.
Couldn't get that play off. So, I mean, the momentum was there. The crowd got pretty loud after that. And then the hit on Ja'Cory Harris.
Good night.
I mean, when they had to bring in their backups, and it looked like their backups hadn't practiced since high school.
But then the fourth stringer comes in,
Harris,
wins the game.
What was his name?
There's
I don't even remember.
Here.
Yeah, whatever he did. In the fourth quarter, it seemed like they kind of woke up.
Yeah, they almost won the game. So I mean, you're probably happy most of the game, and then in that fourth quarter, you're like, oh God. You're like, you probably hold your girlfriend's hand, like, oh God.
I got so angry because one of these guys was walking up and down the student section. He was like, we're gonna rush the field. And this is right as whoever that quarterback is threw a touchdown pass, and it was 24-19. And I was starting to shake a little bit because I'd seen. I mean, I don't know if we'd ever blown a 24-point lead, but I wouldn't put it past UVA.
It's Morris. That's
Morris. Okay, I knew it was like an is.
Zach Morris. That's who's in the game for them.
Yeah, he started looking pretty impressive at the end of the game, and I was nervous. But then Verica came on, probably the most clutch throw of his career. That one to Bird.
Oh, I agree. The third down conversion to ice the game.
Beautiful.
Yeah, big play. So you guys rushed the field. What if our listeners have never rushed the field after a great college football game? What was that like?
It was pretty amazing because at first they had a nice line like of cops just like all around the student section, and one guy made a run for it, and they like grabbed him and cuffed him, and then the players came over and started jerking people out of the stands, and fans actually started rushing down the hill as opposed to jumping onto the field, and then it was over with there. They didn't stop people, so we waited and then jumped out of the stands onto the hill, and then just. There's no line there pretty much. You just run down that hill. Was it one of those things where you looked at your buddies and you're like, okay, if I lose you, I'll see you back at the apartment. Was that what you said? Yeah, it was just like, I'll see you when I see you. And I ran out there. I was slapping players on the shoulder pads. I saw Perry Jones. He's probably 5'7", 5'8", slapped him on the back. Told him good game. And he looked like he'd been pretty bruised up. He had to play. He always takes a lot of hits, but he's tough as nails. He had about 22 carries in the game. He had a good game. Sports Radio 1400 WKAV. This is the morning show, the Mark Moses Show. I'm joined here by the UVA Fantasy Guy, Adam Tomlinson. He's talking about rushing the field after UVA's big win against Miami. Screaming, we are number one. Yes, 4-4. Now you're taking the show on the road to Duke, noon kickoff. And you've never been there before, so $8 tickets, 50-yard line. You could get used to that. I don't mind that one bit. Hopefully we bring the same intensity that we brought to Miami. Now, if they lay an egg, are you just going to be like just swearing after the game? Are you going to be that devastated? Why did I drive 3.5 hours down to Durham for this? Mike London will probably say the same thing. Mike, I want my $8 back. Go to Stubhub and get it for me. Now, if they win that game. Yeah. I mean, 5-4. And then beat Maryland. I mean, then they have to win one more to get bowl eligible since we played 2 1AA schools. And you got Boston College. Yeah, I mean, those are 3 winnable games, definitely. Maryland's looking better this year, but... Yeah, they're putting up 60 points a game now. Yeah, I like it. It'll be a 3:30 kick, last home game. I think, the fans, if we win on Saturday, this is how fair weather UVA fans are, but if we win on Saturday, have a winning record... There will be some excitement going into that game. So good. That's what you should have. You need it. All right, let me ask you real quick. How'd your fantasy football teams do over the weekend? Mark, it was an amazing weekend. Going into Monday night, I was losing in 2 games and winning in 1, and I won all 3. It was amazing. 3-0 again. Were you 3-0 last week? I was 2-1 and 3-0 in the previous 2 weeks. Wow. So 1 loss in a month. You are that good. You are in 3 leagues, 1 loss in a month. You are the championship belt. That's what you need. I'm going to have to get you one. Oh, Mark, stop it. Yeah, you are that good. Okay, and I want to go over some numbers for you. You ask yourself, okay, week 8, who was the number 1 player in fantasy football? Who put up the most points? Do you know the answer? No idea. This goes out to your boys. David Garrard. I figured. This goes on my fantasy pick this week. 17 for 21, 264 touchdowns. He was the number 1 fan. He beat out the second best player, Calvin Johnson. Yeah, that makes sense. 9 receptions, 101 yards, 3 touchdowns. Thank you, Washington Redskins. Number 3, Benjarvis Green Ellis for the Patriots. Okay. 17 attempts, 112 yards, 2 touchdowns. Those are your top 3. Calvin Johnson, I understand, but David Garrard was the number 1 player last week. I just want to thank the Cowboys for, padding fantasy stats everywhere. And that segues nice into my my fantasy pick for this week. I'm giving a shout-out to Western Michigan alum Greg Jennings, wide receiver for the Packers. They're playing in Lambeau Sunday night against the boys. And Terrence Newman, I don't think he'll be playing. We have maybe 2 other quarterbacks on the roster. Mm-hmm. So maybe you'll have to join the team. They might have to, give me a call up. So, yeah, Greg Jennings, Aaron Rodgers, anyone on the Packers probably will get mad fantasy points.
Wait a minute, you're playing the Packers this Sunday?
Yeah.
Does it ever end for your team?
We're going for a high draft pick, Mark. We're trying to get, top 5.
And then here's the question. Who would you draft? What does this team need? I know they need everything. Who do you think they need?
I'd take a left. No, I guess we have Doug Free. Some kind of offensive lineman. Just get some linemen. And then a corner. We could use a shutdown corner. Patrick Patterson or Peterson. Peterson from LSU.
If you had if you guys had any types of brain as like a general manager, you'd be like, okay, let's take a line play. But you have Jerry Jones.
We're probably going to get a quarterback.
Yeah.
Maybe a running back. Why not?
I could see them taking a quarterback and then Romo's head exploding. That's what I imagine.
Who's going to wear that sweet-looking golf cap in the post-game interviews? You
know what we're going to do? You know what we're going to do? I'm here with the UVA Fantasy Guy, and he is talking about how he's going to Durham to take the Cavaliers football team. He wants them to get to 5-4. We're going to take our little break. I'm going to bring him back on after this break, okay? And we're going to discuss if he was Brett Favre for Halloween or not. Okay? I need to know this on air. All right? And don't say anything right now. Keep it for the listeners.
Yes,
you
sir.
better. And teach me how to Dougie, all right? And I need to discuss the corner with you as well, because I went to this one place like Trinity, I think that's what it's called, and I could not move. And I thought it was a fire hazard. I'm sorry. I could not move in there. I couldn't move.
That's the bar scene on the corner.
And I was the oldest guy in there as well. People were asking me, sir, are you the owner of this place? Because I look like Old Man McGee when I go in. And one drunk girl's like, he looks like Justin Long. I was like, okay, I get it. I get it already. All right. I make out Drew Barrymore, all right? Hey, this is the morning show, the home of Teach Me How to Dougie and UVA football. We'll be back with the UVA Fantasy Guy. We got to talk corner, his outfit, my Tony Romo outfit, and who are the Cowboys going to take. All right, here on Sports Radio 1400 WKAV.